After falling for 6 months straight, the supply of homes in Delray Beach real estate market is rising once again. Hi, this is John Whelan and welcome back to my How's the Delray Beach Real Estate Market Update for September 2023. We're going to talk about three things. Number one, I'm going to dive right into the active listing story. Number two, with a colleague of mine, I put together a whole new look and feel of charts that I think you'll find useful. Number three, we're going to talk about this affordability index issue. And if you stick around, a couple of ideas that I think you'll find useful as we wrap it up. In our first chart, let's take a look at active listings and what's going on. As you can see, it fell for 6 straight months, but from August to last month, September, it rose quickly 7.7%. What you don't see is that this September over September 2022, inventory is up almost 15%, and on a year-over-year basis, it's up 6.9%. Now, here's the thing. If you'd like to be a part of my weekly e-letter, it's a free thing I send out every Wednesday. My information is down below. Last week, I was sharing to my readers that over the last 72 days in South Florida, there's been an increase of inventory by 12%. If you'd like to be a part of that, click below. I'll make sure it gets to your inbox right away. A lot of viewers call in and ask me what I mean by Delray Beach in my reports. So take a look at this map. This shows inside the red box, this is a map of Delray Beach Incorporated. Anything to the west, that is unincorporated, that is the oversight of Palm Beach County. So inside Delray Beach Incorporated, where all this data comes from, it's basically from Atlantic Ocean to about Military Trail on the west, and pretty much the Lake Ida Road and Lake Ida the lake, down to the canal south of Linton Avenue. Now here are those new charts that I put together with help from my colleague George. This is going to be used from this point forward. I think you're going to like them. Let's take a look at the first one, which is the number of homes sold. You can see this goes back 2.5 years to April of 2021, so it's a good sample here. But I want you to take a look at for this one from September of 2021 basically through December, that 4 to 5 month period. That was when there was a lull in the number of properties sold. If you looked at 2022, the same thing. September it went down to November, a little rise in December, then back down in January. And you can see that that is kind of the off season. That's before the spikes in the number when all of the snowbirders and people come down here to live for 6 months. Now let's take a look at the average sales price. You can see sales price has risen over this 2.5 year period. But once again, let's look at the August, September, October on the far left. In 2021, it rose from 476 up to 538 and then a spike. Then let's look at August of 2022 last year, starting at 510,000 was the bottom. Then September, October, November, boom, and then it continued to rise during the high season. On the far right, you can see in August, September, we're now starting to see a little bit of that trend continue. Next one, let's look at days on market. Well, if we go back 2.5 years ago, inventory was crashing and inventory finally bottomed in May of 2022, which is when days on market bottomed at 20.5 days. But then as inventory rose late last year, so did days on market. So there's correlation with inventory rising and falling to days on market, as you can clearly see. And how about interest rates? Take a look at this chart. This is the climb to the mountaintop. It's actually very ugly, but it gives a perspective on where interest rates have actually gone in the last 2.5 years. Oh my gosh, from 2.83 in July of 2021 to now 7.85%. They're saying by the time this video is published, we might even be hitting 8%. Yuck. But it does play into the next thing I'm going to talk about, which is the affordability index. Let's have a look at that. Now let's talk about the big conversation in real estate today, which is the affordability. I'm going to define what this means to you as you look at this chart. So anything over 50%, which is basically since February this year, is bad. And how we define that is I took the average household income of $100,000. So if you're making more, affordability is less. If you're making less, then affordability is more. Keep looking at this chart. Anything over 50% means more than 50% of your income is contributed in this calculation to your mortgage based on the average sales price at the current interest rate. Basically your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So anything over 50%, pretty much you're not going to be getting a loan. So what this means is that we're still priced a little bit more than what this market can bear. And if you look at that chart again, we've been over 50% since February of this year. Go back to the interest rate chart. From January, we went from interest rate of 6.3% up to almost 7% in February. That's when the market changed. So based on what's happening with the Fed, we're seeing rates now almost pushing 8%. The Fed has put a little bit of dampening on what they're planning on doing with interest rates in the future. It looks like in Q1 or Q2 of next year, interest rates we might see easing or possibly even dropping. And that'll be a good thing for affordability in this market moving forward. So if you're a homeowner who's been thinking about preparing your property to sell based on the data, this is the time to do it. Don't wait. I showed earlier the number of homes sold is now starting to rise and trend up. Also, the average price per property is clearly coming off the lows and is now trending up. Now for buyers, I understand that interest rates are high and that is a thorn in their side. But two things. Number one, there's still strong demand for property in Florida. And number two, about 40% of all transactions are still cash. So if you would like for me to prepare a competitive market analysis, a CMA for your property, down below is my phone number, my email. You can text me, call me, send me an email. I'd love to do a CMA for you for free. I'll get it to you right away, but be on record. Right now is the ultimate time to get your house on the market and ready to sell. Now, my last bonus for this month is talking about insurance in Florida. Yeah, we know that it's been a debacle. It's been a complete mess for the last few years, but I have some good news. Last month, the state of Florida announced that they have approved 2 new insurance companies to come in and start writing homeowners policies again. Now, Citizens is the state-appointed insurance company right now. They basically give insurance policies to people who were eligible for it but couldn't get it in the private market. Well, guess what? They took on an additional 500,000 policies over the last 3 to 4 years, which was a burden for them. And when we've lost 7 insurance companies over this last 4 years, competition obviously slows down. What happens? Insurance policy rates over the last few years have gone ballistic, over 100% in a lot of people's situation. So by the announcement of them approving 2 new carriers into the state, that's good news for all of us homeowners, and it's good for home buyers thinking about coming down here and buying in Florida. So that's it for the month of September. Before you go, I have 2 links at the bottom here. Please leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, but I have 2 links. One is to my latest video that's up on my YouTube channel. It's the definitive guide for downtown Delray Beach condos. In addition is a link below as well. If you fill out your information, I'll get you the spreadsheet that gives you a comprehensive list of all the downtown condominium buildings with all the other information pertinent to those that might help you as you're looking to make an acquisition here in Delray Beach. That's it for this month. I'll see you in 30 days when we take a look at what happened in the month of October.